I'm here walking through the Australian outback. I've got a 60-kilometre walk over desert sand dunes, blistering hot days, very cold nights, and I'm doing it as a traditional swagman. Now, sometimes I stop and I have to ask myself, Luke, why do you do things like this all the time? And then I see views like that and I realize it's all worth it. G'day everyone. Well, I'm here for my most ambitious walk or adventure for this year, I'd say, and I'm on the shores of this beautiful salt lake, and I'm out here in outback Australia. This is Mallee country, one of the few places in Victoria we have which is that dry desert type landscape, which I really wanted to do a traditional swagman type of walk. So come along for the walk with me, and as we go along in this video, I'll give you a bit of a rundown of the gear, the old traditional gear that I'll be using for this journey. But yeah, I got 60 k's ahead of me. It's going to be a proper walkabout this trip. So yeah, let's do it. Check out this emu that's been here. And this salt. And this whole thing here is just salt lake, salt plain. So could use a bit of this on me meat tonight, I guess. And I've come 10 kilometers from that way, just in a straight line, and I've got 10 kilometers to walk that way in a straight line. So this is the first of 3 water tanks that are on this long 60k walk, and which is good because there's no water out here. There's no way I can source water. Well, there is water out here if you know where to look, and the indigenous folk of this area, they knew where to dig. They knew which plants to spot, which they knew if they dig under there they'd find water. And the settlers and the swagmen would not have survived out in this harsh country if it wasn't for the knowledge of the local indigenous people. Pretty incredible what they were able to achieve out here. You know, not just to survive, but I mean to raise generations of family. I think that's pretty incredible. But while I'm here and I've got this tank, I'm going to fill up. And I've got this water bag. This is an old canvas water bag, and this was borrowed to me from Scotty from Southern Bushcraft, so thank you for that, Scotty. But yeah, I wanted to do it real old school, so I'm carrying this with me the whole way. Now this can carry about 5 litres, I tested. I'm not carrying 5 litres on me because it's just a bit too heavy, so this has got about 3 litres in it. So Something died out here. I'm not sure what that is. I'm thinking wallaby or roo. I've got biltong, which is basically dried meat, and this was made to me by my mate Tim. So the old fellas would have had jerky. Biltong's a little bit like jerky, just made a bit differently. And yeah, it's a good meal just to have out here to pack. Have a look at the flies on me. Can you see them around my face? You know what the bushman salute is, don't you? That's the bushman salute. Oh, this is rather devastating. I'm walking about a K backwards along the track because I've lost my R&N knife, my Swagman's companion, which is it's a bloody beautiful knife. It was given to me and I don't want to lose that. It came off. I had it here on my belt, but the all the rubbing, the little screws have obviously just fallen out, and so it's dropped. And my only hope is that I dropped it where I had my last little water break. I'm just scouring the path as I walk as well, and if I can't find it there, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's not here. I've been tracing my steps on the All Trails map. That's devastating. I'll have another look around, see what I can do. Well, I just added an extra 2 kilometers on this trip today, trying to find that knife and couldn't find it. Backtracked to where I had my water break and it wasn't there. So look, it could be anywhere along this track, and the good thing is there's a bit of a loop, so I'll come out, I do a loop, and then I have a 10-kilometer stretch back to the car, which I walked already this morning. So I'm hoping it might be there on the path. I haven't strayed off the path, so if it's anywhere, it's got to be on the path. I'll give it a look. That'll be not tomorrow, but the next day. It's hot, and these flies are all over me. And I'm sweating, it's getting my eyes. Whew. It's been a big day, 22 Ks or so. I'm almost there at the campsite. All right. We got water. Oh. Don't use too much. This stuff is precious. I've just come across this little fire pit, and just in the middle of the mallee. Maybe this would be a really nice place to have a fire tonight, and it's very protected from the wind. Look, it's just a short walk up to the mountain there, so I can go and have, you know, go and look at the sunrise and the sunset up there. But yeah, it's more protected here. I might camp here tonight. So I'm thinking of just laying my bedroll out just here right next to the fire tonight. Keep myself nice and warm. This is a canvas bag, and it's modelled after a 1930s military bag. Basically on this trip, I've tried to go as traditional as possible. That's why I've got the bedroll, I've got the canvas water bag, I've got my Stockman jacket, and then I've got this. I think the main things I've brought that, you know, are modern equipment is basically all my camera gear. chargers, GPS, emergency beacons, things like that. And then on top of that, my emergency medical kit. So, you know, being out somewhere very remote like here, you want to keep it, yeah, you want to be a bit safe. But yeah, I've got whiskey in a flask. I've got a bit of odds and pieces. I've got my pipe. I've got my ferro rod. What else? Matches. Yeah, just a bunch of different stuff really that old swagmans would take out with me. Little billies, little tins, things like that. So that's really good doing this simple. I think my base weight of everything was pretty light. I mean, that was a big 22-kilometer walk, and it didn't feel too bad on my shoulders. I reckon I'm under 10 kilos to be honest. So yeah, it's good. Nice and lightweight. All right, everyone, I want to show you what I'm using for a swag tonight. So I didn't bring out, you know, your modern day swag, a canvas with a fly and everything like that. I really wanted to go old school for this trip. And basically I've made my own swag out of an oilskin tarp and a woolen blanket. So yeah, I made this oilskin tarp out of cotton mixed with linseed oil and turpentine and let it cure for a while. And then yeah, just pretty much made this tarp, as you can see. And if you roll it out, there we go. And inside here is a woolen blanket. Now, it's gonna get cold tonight, down to 8 degrees, so we'll see how we go. But being next to the fire, I can keep myself warm there. But yeah, look, this is how the old fellas used to do it back in the day. These are how they would have carried their bedroll with them. So I really just wanted to capture that spirit of the old Aussie swagman. So what do you do when you lose your knife? I've got no spoon, no backup knife, nothing. But I do have some tweezers, and I've worked out that these tweezers can get a spark off the ferro rod. Coming about 5:45. It still feels, it's daylight saving, so it's still really light. I'm going to cook up my first part of the meal tonight, and then I've got the second part I'm going to cook up as well, because I want to, yeah, around about 7 o'clock when it starts getting to sunset, I want to climb up the mountain to see the sunset view. So yeah, I'm going to cook up some dinner now because I'm very hungry, but I'm going to show you what I got. Okay, for dinner tonight, I got some meat. Do you know what this meat is? I've never eaten this kind of meat before. This is wild rabbit. And this was shot for me by my mate Dave, so thank you Dave from Key Permaculture. And he gave me a few rabbits, and I thought, well, that's a perfect, you know, meal to cook up as a swag man. You know, they probably didn't have rabbits around back in the 1800s. I don't know when rabbits, you know, got out of control, but it's a gamey type of animal, so imagine I'm eating possum or something like that. But even still, I do think they would have eaten wild rabbit as well in the early 1900s. So and this is the only cooking utensil I brought with me, this little grill. Rabbit. I'm just going to grill that on open flame. I think I'll add a little bit more salt just to make it nice and tasty. Shit, that's hot. Yeah, that'd be the case. I think I should go on record as saying it. This is really not the way you're meant to cook rabbit. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. I might just boil up a bit of chai to go with my dinner. while I'm at it. I think some chai would be nice. I think that's it for the char grilled rabbit. Oh. First up in here, this is chai. Pour some in there. Oh, it's going to make a lovely brew. Okay, time to try this rabbit. Let me get into this before the flies do. Once you get through the burnt stuff, the meat's under there. I'm guessing that's not the best way to cook rabbit, but I'm hungry, so I'll eat it. That's like chicken. It's like KFC chicken or something. That's actually good meat. Now, while that fire dies down behind me, I'm going to make a traditional Swagman meal. And basically I'm making this to eat. I'll eat some tonight, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow because I don't want to have to build up a big fire tomorrow morning. I'd like to just, you know, have a little coffee and then head on pretty quick. So that's why I'm going to make up some damper right now. So this is going to be the traditional Australian damper, which is just flour and salt. That's all it is. And people used to carry their flour in a flour bag, something like this, but look, I'm going to be honest with you, I kept it in its little paper packet just so it doesn't spill everywhere. Alright, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to get lots of crap all over my hands. It's so hard doing this with flies all over you. Oh yeah, that's going to be a beautiful bit of damper right there. Now traditionally the Swagman would have carried a black billy out with them, and they could have cooked damper up in that, or they could have cooked it right on the hot ashes, but I'm not going to do that. I've got my little nesting cup, kind of like a billy in a way. They would have had little metal cups like this, and I'm going to cook the damper up in here and see how it goes. And I'm just going to put that right in there. Alright, if I can get some coals on top, that's also really good. It's looking pretty good. See if you can look in there. I just need to let it cool and then I'll take it out, but that's looking alright. It might be burnt on the bottom, but that's okay. There we go. Bit burnt. Oh, if I open that up though, yeah, that's alright. Look at that. Beautiful. It was just the outside that's burnt, but look at that. That is a beautiful little bun to eat. I'll try some now. And that is a little snack before bed, and then breakfast as well. Alright, it's time to climb up that mountain and check out these Mallee sunsets. I'm only halfway up the mountain and it already looks incredible. I mean, on video you can never do it justice, but it's incredible. It's just kilometers and kilometers and kilometers of mallee scrub outback country, and just makes you feel alive, being so remote, out in the middle of nowhere with no one around, just yourself, relying on your own skills. It's bloody beautiful out here.
The Mallee is known for its spectacular sunsets. There's something about watching a setting sun cast its golden glow over a vast country that can make you feel small. It's what draws us nature-loving folks out to places like this, to disconnect from the modern world and just be able to bask in the glory. Doing this trip, I can't help but imagine how intimidating this landscape must have been for the old fellas. What did they think and feel when looking out on the horizon? What hopes and fears did they hold towards a land that held both potential and hardships? I guess we can never fully understand what they went through. I can only get a glimpse of it by putting myself out here in this situation, for a brief moment in time feel like a swagman of old.
Surprisingly warm last night. Well, not warm, but not that cold. Kept the fire going for a little bit, but yeah, no, it was good. It's amazing how much warmth you can retain in the oil skin. Keeps the wind off ya. It's really good. Kept all my food in the tree hanging last night just to keep the bugs and ants and animals from being able to get to it. And there's me breakfast, a little damper roll. Might actually just toast some of it up, but first things first, most important thing, coffee. Legs are feeling tired, but I'm not too bad. Had a good night's sleep considering, so happy about that. Not a bad bushman's brekkie, I'd say. Bit of cowboy coffee, a pipe, and some damper. Everything I need to walk another 20 kilometers in the hot desert sun today. Just to have a little bit of luxury, I'm gonna actually, on those hot coals, just toast up that damper just a little bit. Gotta have a bit of luxury when you're out in the bush. Doesn't take long for the flies to find you out here. As soon as the sun comes up, they're out. Just endless plains of mallee scrub. Kind of intimidating walking out there. I'm going into the most remote part now of the walk. This is the wilderness area. I only got myself to rely on out here. Kind of feels like Africa, the savannas of Africa, this little section. There were certain sections and parts of Uganda that, out in the dry parts of Uganda, that felt like this. So let's hope a lion doesn't spring out and grab me. Wow, I'm just walking and it's just changed from thick mallee scrub to this open grasslands, like savanna grassland. This is awesome. This has such a like African savanna vibe to it. Wow, it's just totally opened up. This feels like real outback out here. This is pig face, I think it's called, and this is usually grows in a coastal area, and as you can see they're just flowering, and usually those flowers develop into a fruit, so they're not fruiting right now, but yeah, it's really cool to find pig face out here. So for those of you who don't live in Australia or you're not aware, Australia's outback is a vast area of, you know, thousands of kilometres. Now there's no official boundary line for where the outback begins and where it finishes, but it's just an overall term used to describe the vast interior of Australia, which is really characterised by dry desert type landscape. Now you're probably wondering, well, where's Uluru, where's that red soil? Well, Australia's outback has a range of different environments and landscapes, and obviously the most famous is the Red Centre where you get Uluru, but you get riverine systems like the Murray-Darling, you get the rolling sand dunes like in the Simpson Desert, you get just treeless plains like in the Nullarbor, you know, you also got your rocky mountain ranges like the McDonald's Ranges and the Flinders Ranges, and then where I am is that kind of mallee scrubland with also your salt lakes that you get as well, and you know, typical to South Australia, and where I am in the far northwest of Victoria, and basically this is the only area in my state where I can get outback type landscape. So if you're wondering where's the red soil, where's Uluru, well, Australia's outback is huge, and it took me 6.5 hours just to get here, and I love exploring my state of Victoria, and this was pretty much the only place I could come to in Victoria that had outback landscape. Check this out. First road I've crossed. Still feels remote out here. The landscape has changed again. It's like really woody here, and I don't know what these are. They might be a casuarina or she oak. Not sure, maybe someone can confirm that to me. What's this up here? Looks like a little wallow. And I bet you if you dug deep enough there, you might be able to find water. Biltong for lunch. Still good. Second road that I've crossed. This is cool. I've just stumbled into an area. Check out these old billies. All these old tins. Geez, this would have been an old campsite back in the day. I wonder what they were doing here. Look, there's tins everywhere. There's tins up in the tree. Check it out. What on earth happened here? And the whole place is full of it. Oh, surely this was a camp for something. I don't know what they were mining or something here, but yeah, it's just like old jerry cans and old billies everywhere. Outback Australia. You know, it should be fairly old if it says made in Australia and not made in China. It's just walking through a little woody section. There's all these birds just going nuts up in the sky there. I think it's because these gums here, have a look, they're all flowering. This last section has been really hard and I'm definitely feeling my body getting tired now. And today's just a lot harder because it's a lot hotter today. There's no clouds in the sky. Like yesterday was a bit cloudy and there's no breeze, so it's just stifling. And yeah, you're running on water and biltong. I'm tired, but I'm almost there and I'm hoping there's water at this water tank. Okay, let there be water. Let there be water. Let there be water. Let's see. Beautiful. And this is a great place to camp because it's just a big open plain, and I saw an emu running before, so. Oh, I've got blisters. And you might be asking, why am I doing this whole walk in steel cap bloodstone work boots? Well, I would have liked to wear the hobnail boots, I think they're called, that the old fellas used to, but I don't have a pair. And I didn't really want to wear, you know, runners with laces on them. I wanted to try and capture the spirit of the old fellas a bit, so that's why I wore my only boots I have, which are steel capped work boots. They're actually not too uncomfortable to walk in, but just they're heavy because of the steel cap in them. So when you're walking up the sand dunes, oh, adds a bit of extra weight to you, that's for sure. I guess it's all about just making yourself suffer that little bit extra. Do it hard like the old fellas used to. This emu has just come to check me out. Is this even happening right now? This big emu and all their chicks just came and fully checked me out. That was such an awesome experience. I'm going to camp right here tonight. This is going to be a beautiful spot out on these plains. Be a beautiful sunset and I might see some more emus, but this is a nice place to camp. Obviously there was an old fire pit here at some point, so I'll utilise this. I just went for a walk on these plains and I've just come across a watering hole. No wonder there's all these emus around here and wildlife. Look at that. That's some manky looking water. Alright, so I'm going to get a fire going now. It's 5:30 But I want to get some hot coals going, so I'm going to build up the fire for like 45 minutes, let it die off, get those coals so I can cook some damper up. No bushcraft tonight, I'm just going with my old natches on a bit of toilet paper. Sometimes it's nice just to do things the easy way. Bit of try in the evening. And way over there in the distance, can never do it justice, but yeah, there's another emu over there. I'm going to make up a little damper ball, and then I'll wash my hands, and then I'll show you what the damper ball looks like, because I'm basically just going to mix this water in here like this. And look, I made it last night, so I just get really messy hands and I don't like touching the camera. So I'm just going to spend some time making this and then wash my hands up. These are my little damper balls, and one's going to be for dinner tonight, and I'm going to cook up one for breakfast tomorrow, because tomorrow morning I'm going to be out of here real quick. I'm going to start walking by 6 o'clock. So just chuck it right in there, chuck the lid on. I'm just going to put her right in the hot coals there. You can see in there, there we go, that's dinner. So tomorrow I've got my biggest walk, 23 kilometers. I'm going to get up bright and early. I'm going to get up at about 6 o'clock I think and start walking by 6 o'clock, because it's going to be a hot one tomorrow. It's going to be in the high 30s I think, and windy, so just bear it and look forward to walking back to the car tomorrow, and hopefully I find my knife on the trail. We'll see how we go. Otherwise I'm just going to drink some whiskey, sit by the fire and just enjoy this coolness that's finally come. Alright, I was up at dark, packing up. Sun hasn't even risen yet. I'm already walking because I've got a big day ahead of me. Biggest walk of the day. And it's going to be the hottest day as well. And my muscles are sore and tired. My blisters hurt. Didn't have a very good sleep, but oh well. Life of the Swagman, hey? The sun has just peaked over the horizon. Good though, I think I've done a solid 45 minutes or so of walking before that sun hit. And now the heat begins, and doesn't take long for the flies to find you. First section of the trip of this whole walk, that I'm walking through a patch of area that looks like it was yeah, it looks like it was burnt. Fire at some stage. Oh, I just felt a drop of rain. That's nice. Bit of rain. I was not expecting rain on this trip. It's meant to be incredibly hot and dry out here, but that's cool. A little bit of desert rain. That's beautiful actually. It's very refreshing. That's so nice. And the soil smells so good with that rain hitting it. Alright, brekkie time. Brekkie time, coffee time. Woo! Thunderstorm time! I'm going to enjoy this. Coffee and a pipe. It's really weird weather today. It's like windy and really hot, but yeah, it's been raining and thunderstorms, which is obviously not good for fire danger, because being thunderstorms doesn't mean everything's wet. Everything is quite dry. That's why I'm just making a little fire to cook up this water. Got a yummy brekkie here. Wild goats. First time I've seen the goats out here. This park was closed about a week ago because they were doing a big aerial operation and they were shooting all the goats. So I hadn't seen any goats until now. There you go. The goats are out here. There's still a few left. So I've just done a really big loop and I'm coming up to the section that I did on the first day. It's like a 10-kilometer stretch. So I'm gonna have a look around and see if I can find my knife on the ground anywhere, because it's got to be on the pathway. Oh, I've been scouring the ground hoping I'd come across this beauty, and I found it. The Swagman's Companion by R&N Blades. Mwah. I guess you can't keep a Swagman's Companion away from him for too long. It's a shame I didn't get to do the whole trip with this as my companion since I was a Swagman, but I just want to take the opportunity to say R&N blades are high quality blades. Now, don't be put off that it fell off my belt buckle, because they come very, very tight. I unscrewed the belt buckle holder for a different trip and then I put it back on for this trip, but I obviously didn't put the screws in tight enough. So that's on me, that's my fault. But Rob, if you're watching this, I'm very happy that I found this beautiful knife, and I do value it because I've added about 4 kilometers extra walking on this trip just to try and find it, backtracking and stuff. So fantastic knives, guys. Swagman's Companion by R&N Blades. I'd recommend it. I am happy.
I find that I get the most out of these trips where I go to my limits and make my body as uncomfortable as I can bear. It might have something to do with pushing back against this modern society of comforts and convenience, and to appreciate the hardships of the folks that came before us and what they endured. When you're exhausted from walking all day with blisters on your feet, eyes stinging from sweat and flies buzzing around your face, the simple act of sitting down and drinking some water becomes a delight to relish in. Only in these environments can the smallest of reliefs become significant moments. It sharpens your senses, makes you feel alive, and reminds you of what's possible for the body to endure, how far you can actually go. We surround ourselves with so much in this modern world that stripping it back sometimes is a great way to remind ourselves that there is not much a human needs to be happy, and that's something worthwhile exploring.
And there's the Salt Lake where I started the walk from. I am bloody buggered. It's been a big day, 6 hours already straight of walking, and I've got a 6-hour drive home. So it was a really cool adventure, this one, just to get in touch with the old Swagman spirit and, you know, push my body to its limits in a way. But yeah, just want to say thank you for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like, give it a comment. If you've not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.